I know it's been a while since I've kind of updated, but I've been working like crazy, and this has been a super duper crazy week. So, like, I don't even know how in the world I'm gonna start out this video. So, I guess you could kind of call this a story time because, like, I'm gonna be telling a story about something that happened this week. And I will admit this is kind of clickbait, but then, like, I promise you again, it's not clickbait. Like, it's 110% true. It's just kind of hard to believe until, like, I had to literally go back, think about this, and get ready to tell the story. I guess I don't even really know how to start out this story anyway, other than my house got broken into with Bailey, me, and one of Bailey's friends inside of it. Kind of starting this out, on the evening of September 15th, I was coming home from work, coming in, and I was going to call my mom to tell her what had happened that day while I was at work. I'm telling her this story, something feels off, and I don't know what it is at this point in time, but something just felt off, and I still couldn't tell what it was. It was freaking me out because I knew something was off, something was going on, but I just couldn't figure out what it was. As I'm on the phone with my mom, I see this dark figure walk into the doorway of my living room, and at this point, I couldn't tell that it was not Bailey. Because I was on the phone with my mom, paying more attention to my phone with her, like, on the call, than I was to what was going on in this direction of what was going on. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a look at what I was looking at that point in time. So, I'm laying on this side of the room, and I look up in the doorway, and I see somebody standing there. So I'm on the phone with my mom, I still have this feeling that somebody's staring at me, so I look up. And as I'm looking up, the dark figure turns and starts looking in the baby gate where Nova's at. And Nova, literally, to everything, she'll whine, she'll bark, she'll run out of her room. And what freaked me out the most is she was quiet, just staring at this dark figure. First, again, I didn't think anything of it because I thought Bailey had gotten a very nice Halloween mask and he was just trying to screw with me, and that's why Nova was quiet. Because Nova was A, scared of the mask, and B, she knew from the scent that it was Bailey, so I knew I was fine. So, like, don't come after me because I had to change my clothes and switch locations, and because my camera went dead. And I really don't remember where I left off. So going back along with the story of what I was attempting to tell earlier, so I thought I was fine, and with that, I heard the back door open once again, and then this time close. And I thought, maybe Bailey had left. And Bailey comes downstairs, comes in where I'm laying at, and was just like, hey, do you want to come with me to go take my friend home? And I'm like, were you just in here staring at me? And he goes, no, were you seeing things? Like, were you hallucinating? You seem pretty sleep deprived. And I'm like, well, I still want to go with you. I'll stay up for a little while longer. I don't want to be in the house alone. And I go on to attempt to tell him what just happened. And at first, he doesn't believe me until I pull out my phone and I start going back to look at security camera footage, which at this point in time, it did not want to load, but all I saw were the thumbnails of, like, those parts of the video. So at, like, 7:40 or whatever, I saw the man standing on the porch. And I turned my phone screen to his friend, I'm like, look, there was somebody in the house. And he goes, oh crap, like, Bailey, you need to look at this. And the whole time down to Huntington, I'm trying to get this security camera footage to load, because I just want to watch him walk in the house. Okay, so, like, here's a screenshot from the actual security camera from that day. 9/15/2020, 7:40 p.m. And here's the man. He was on a bike. So, like, that was my first instinct, my first clue of, like, somebody was in the house. This time, like, we're driving down to Huntington, and I'm still freaking out because, somebody was just in the house. And I thought I had locked the door. Like, he somehow got my keys. He locked the door when he left. Like, who does that? He left my keys on the back porch, outside. And I didn't notice that or realize that until we got home. And on the way back home, I'm trying to get a hold of Haley, like, yeah, you need to come over, like, I'm freaking out big time. So on the way back from Huntington, we grab her on the way back to the house. We go back to the house, and Bailey pulls up the footage on the TV monitor that's over here. This time as well, I called my mom back and told her, like, what had happened, because, you know, I figured she'd want to know, because I was acting a little weird when I just abruptly hung up on her. And I started telling her, like, somebody was in the house, and she, almost first words out of her mouth was, "You might have a stalker, you need to call the police and make a report." So I got to call the cops, and they at first thought that it was a prank call, so they transferred me to another, I don't want to say like another department or whatever, and I'm telling that second person the same exact story that I had just told the operator like 2-3 minutes prior to that. So they sent 2 units out to come and talk to us. They actually came in the house and looked at our monitor that we have and watched the security footage, but like that second time around I couldn't watch it. It just freaked me out way too much to just have to sit and watch it like a third time after just reliving what had just gone on. They come take our names, get all of our info, and they watch the footage and everything, and they go back through. They watched the whole entire 10 minutes of it. The guy was in the house for 10 minutes. He left the back door open. Any of the cats could have gotten out. Nova could have gotten out. Luckily, they didn't. Like, all 3 animals are accounted for currently. But what freaked me out the most is when they went to leave, they were like, "We may know who this is, or we think we know who this is, but we have to do some more digging." And then they left. Well, they came back to the house 2-3 hours later, and they, I guess, were sent back to apologize about what had happened. Because at this point, what we didn't know is that on our road there are multiple group homes for people with dementia, special needs. Like, I knew there was what they call like the workshop or whatever, to where they can like learn basic skills for like in the workforce. It's at the edge of our road. Like that's where we went randonauting at a couple videos ago, where we saw the baby deer. Well, I didn't realize that we had group homes on our street, and the cops basically went on to explain that the old man had dementia, and he had gotten out of the home because he was in the process of moving. He somehow got out, and that he had gotten lost and confused and thought that our house was his. And when he walked in, the reason why he made so many circles around downstairs and kept looking at me is because he was confused on where he was, why I was here, because at first he thought this was his house. But they then went on to ask us if we wanted to press charges. Prior to knowing that this man had dementia and probably some other things wrong with him, I told them when they were there the first time, like, if you catch this guy, I want him put in jail. I want to press charges for criminal trespassing and whatnot. But when they came back, they asked again. And this time, I told them no, because I don't want to say he didn't know any better, but, like, you're probably getting the idea of, like, at this point in time, he didn't know any better. He was in the process of moving and everything. So, like, he didn't really know where he was. Just the people at the group home, when they found the guy, sent the 2 units back to my house to, I don't want to say physically apologize, because like it wasn't them apologizing, but like they sent the cops back to apologize. And the man now knows that if he does come back on property, and if we do call the cops, or he shows back up on the security camera if we call them back, he will go to jail. Sorry if this video seemed like all over, like, I didn't know how to tell this story, but I also felt like you would have wanted to know this story. So, like, if I'm kind of jumping around, like, don't take offense to it. I just didn't know how to go about telling the story. I'm going to end this video here because I need to go to sleep. It is very late, and I'm very tired. Good night.